Going back next to one of our top stories, and that's, of course, France's Interior Minister, who is expected in Rome today. We can bring in Sara Prestianni, Advocacy Director at Euromed Rights. Thank you very much for joining us here on France 24. Now, yesterday we had Ursula von der Leyen, who unveiled Europe's a 10-point action plan to help Italy cope with the influx of migrants. What are some of the main takeaways for you?
Good morning. Yesterday von der Leyen was in Lampedusa with Giorgia Meloni. Unfortunately, what we have seen as 10 points provided as solution are not really solution. First of all, as nothing new. I can enter into the detail, but the support to Frontex is not something new. The focus on anti-smuggling, increased return, border surveillance are proposals that we've been seeing in the last 10 years on the table of the negotiation in the European institution. And at the same time, the real solution has been not really discussed.
The real solution has not been discussed. So what is the real solution in your opinion?
But first of all, when we speak about the situation in Central Med, we clearly see how the European Commission and Italian government are focused only on border surveillance. There's been a lot of efforts on border surveillance, but there is not real discussion on search and rescue operation. We have also to take into account another number with the number of arrivals, the number of deaths. More than 2,400 migrants have lost their life. Secondly, we are seeing the same solution being bring as a new solution. I'm really sorry. Agreement with Tunisia has been already signed, and that's the consequences of the agreement with Tunisia is increase of arrival. And the Frontex agency has been increased its budget in the last year. So we really believe that the European Commission is proposing what has been already tried, and actually the solution proposed are the reason for why there is this increase of arrival right now in Lampedusa.
The French Interior Minister is expected in Rome, and he's going to meet his Italian counterpart. Paris wants to help Rome secure its borders to stem the flow of migrants. What does this mean exactly to you?
That's a good question. I think it would be important to ask it to French government, because I imagine that means to strengthen again the collaboration with Tunisia. But what the reality has shown that it's exactly because Tunisia has signed this memorandum that has been instrumentalized the migration file and that's been pushing so many migrants to reach Lampedusa. The other option could be maybe to strengthen what Meloni called the naval bloc. But we are not really sure that it's in agreement with international law. There is another aspect that France has announced for this visit today is that they will not accept any migrants from Lampedusa. That's linking also with the von der Leyen proposal. Is the only good point in the von der Leyen proposal that's to put in place a mechanism of redistribution. But in this case, they mentioned voluntary mechanism of redistribution and not mandatory. And we clearly see that France, the first things he put on the table before the visit is that they will not accept any redistribution from Lampedusa. So there is a kind of contradiction between the European Commission proposal and the French declaration.
I want to ask you about something that Italy's president, Sergio Mattarella, has said. He said he's called for more legal migration to combat the smuggling of people. Why is the government and European authorities not talking about this legal migration pathway to fight the criminal networks?
Exactly. Mattarella is right. And when I was talking before about solutions, that's the only solution. If there was legal alternative, safe way to reach Europe, anyone would risk their life in a boat in the middle of the Central Med. The problem is there is from one side the will of instrumentalize the migration file, and that's what has been done by also Giorgia Meloni government recently. And to the other side, that's clear. I think that it's important to remind that the only way to do anti-smuggling is not as done right now and to deal with the authoritarian regime. The only way to do anti-smuggling is to create a way in which the smuggler will be not needed. Because if there is legal way, migrants will not call for the support of smugglers to cross the Mediterranean Sea. So I'm definitely, we are definitely in the same position that Mattarella. The only way to prevent death at sea, but also to let people arrive legally, is to open legal and safe passage.
Sara Prestianni, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on the program today.